Hey guys, Zen here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be going over some amazing custom Pokemon art. In fact, before we get into this video, these are 14 fake custom cards. But since we're so close to the set 2 release and I'm just itching to get my hands on all of these new cards, I personally love taking a look at these custom concepts, even for other generations. And this batch of cards, this creator right here, Thunderbolt1 from Reddit, they did a phenomenal job presenting these cards. But I wanted to discuss with you guys because it seems like I have a large chunk of my audience that really likes this type of like eerie crafting with fake cards to see if they could potentially survive in a game like Pokemon Pocket. And honestly, if this is what the community can come up with, and just the levels of this game for their future looks very, very promising. So with that, let's just hop right into this with Rayquaza EX. Now, if you're a Rayquaza fan, don't forget to like the video and consider subscribing. But this thing has a pretty neat ability that I genuinely think could fit in a Pokemon Pocket-esque type game. The only issue I have with this is that 130 HP. Now, if you've seen any of my videos with my custom concepts and fake cards, I overindulge with the HPs. I make them kind of chunky. I make them pretty thick. But 130 for a Rayquaza EX feels pretty lackluster. However, the ability and attack might make a lot of sense. Also, 3 retreat costs right here. So, Chromatic Ascension. For each different type of energy attached to any of your Pokemon, this Pokemon takes minus 10 damage from your attacks. And with it being a dragon type, I mean, it's almost always going to have at least 2 energies in the deck. You could also build a deck with up to, I think, a max of 3 energies. You can't add more than that. I don't think, unless they change that. It's been a very long time since I ever tried to build a deck with more than 3 energy. You almost never really want to. But yeah, with that, I feel like it's a pretty balanced ability. And just off the ability alone, I think we could definitely see some type of, Pokemon card or ability like this in the future of Pokemon Pocket. Now, where I draw the line, and you guys might agree, is that Soaring Star Spire. 120 for fire and electric. Okay, nothing too crazy there. Knock out each of your opponent's benched Pokemon with 20 HP or less. You can effectively just win the game if you have Greninja or something on the bench, right? Like, this thing is kind of nuts, and maybe that's why the 130 HP is where it is. But yeah, with that, guys, all these cards today are custom. They're all like just concepts. Well, the point of this is to just really build that hype for set 2 because I'm beyond excited. But also, let's see if any of these cards could actually exist. So let me know in the comments. Do you think Rayquaza EX? Would you want this Rayquaza EX in Pokemon Pocket? You never know. Maybe the devs are listening. All right, with that, let's move on to the next one. We have Dragonic A right here. Another Pokemon ability. Not pretty neat. It's a darkness type, which honestly, I can respect. 80 HP, 2 retreat cost. Camouflaged maneuver. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 1 less. That's pretty neat, especially if Pokemon tools come into play for this Pokemon Pocket, which we already are. We're seeing in set 2, but something like Poison Barb would be pretty neat because you attach Poison Barb to Dragonic A here, and if they get attacked, the opposing Pokemon is then poisoned, which then reduces your retreat cost by 1. That's kind of cracked. I'm not too mad about that, right? Now, something about this that also both of these cards that I noticed, you notice there's text here and there's text here. Pokemon Pocket has currently never given us a Pokemon card that has an ability and a move that also has secondary text. It's always an ability and then a move that just does damage. That's it. So take it with a grain of salt. However, we're going to see the creativeness of these cards. So Poison Lagoon, first of all, fantastic name. 40 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. If it is already poisoned, during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes minus 20 damage from attacks. So we're just trying to make this Pokemon absolutely busted. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of it. This effectively would create so many new strategies and just synergies across the board. And I think Darkness Pokemon as a whole just need a little bit more love. you know, fingers crossed, set 2, they might be getting stuff. Darkrai, please. What is it? The Dark Cloak ability? Oh my god, that would be so cracked, you guys, if that actually is a thing. Moving on, Garchomp. Well, I actually saw this Garchomp already. So this one was already spoiled for me. It's not real, but 150 HP, 0 retreat is just what? This thing is busted. Warning Bite. Once during your turn, it's essentially Greninja. Do 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And then Relentless Pursuit is where things go crazy. If this attack knocks out the defending Pokemon, put it from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench, and its remaining HP becomes 40. So like my question there is, oh, it's 120 damage first of all, right? My question is, what if it's not a basic Pokemon and you knock it out? Do you just put the basic on the bench, or do you put that same form back on the bench? It's you know, directions were unclear with this one, but overall entirely busted. And personally, hot take, I don't think we're getting a Garchomp EX. We don't have a Dragonite EX. I don't think we're getting a Garchomp EX. I think we're getting strong, like pseudo-legendary Pokemon, but I don't think any of them, unfortunately, are going to be EXs. That's my hot take. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my hot take. Moving on. For Alligator, okay, this is for all the Gen 2ers that were just, all their hopes and dreams and aspirations were just ripped from their cold hands. All right, Carnage Roll. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves to the active spot from the bench, one of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random. Ooh, a little bit of RNG there. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 10 damage to it. Interesting. Okay. So it's like Dragonite-esque with some stuff, but the damage isn't that crazy. So I respect it. And then we have Frenzied Banquet, right? 50 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is already damaged, this attack does 30 more damage, so you can do up to 80. Not too bad. Not too bad. Honestly, a lot of these cards look pretty amazing, and the artists are amazing here. Spare Ribs, already a huge fan. You guys already know from my other videos. Rillaboom EX. Oh my god, one of my favorite grass type Pokemon, especially like the newer gen. I'll be honest, I was never a Decidueye fan, right? I know people are gonna chew me up. I might get some unsubscribes here, but like for me, a lot of the grass type Pokemon, I think my last favorite grass type ish was like Serperior, and then ever since then, it's like they're not cool. I did like Chespin a little bit, but yeah, they just kind of fell off. And then Rillaboom came in, and I was like, all right, Grassy Surge, baby. All right, Reinvigorating Beat. Attacks used by your Pokemon that were healed during this turn do plus 30 damage. This effect does not stack. I like the fact that they put the effect doesn't stack. Maybe some sort of ability that improves or enhances damage output based on what item cards you used that turn. That could be pretty neat. It's essentially a secondary item card with an effect based on you using another item card. I like that. I'm not too against it. Rumbling Terrain. Change a random energy attached to each of your opponent's Pokemon to colorless until the end of your opponent's next turn. That says so much chaos, right? Like I don't know how you can put that into a game. The developmental phase of that, right? That just seems like a lot of coding and just a lot of potential bugs there could happen. But interesting. I like the creativeness where we're going with this. With Torchic. Oh my god. 60 HP. This art is adorable. This is literally a chase card. This is the cutest thing ever. Angry Beak. Okay, more like Angry Beak. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned for 10 damage, 1 fire energy. Respectable. I love this thing though. This is pretty good. Take notes, guys. Take notes, devs, if you're watching. Urshifu EX. Oh my goodness. I forgot this guy even existed. Knuckle Tempest. No space. I guess that's fine. It's one word. Whenever you play a fighting Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, take a fighting energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. Inner Immolation? Is that a word? I don't know what that means. 130, flip 3 coins. You guys know how much I love coin flipping, baby. Flip 3 coins for each tails. Discard a fighting energy from this Pokemon and do 10 damage to this Pokemon. I don't like that. I don't like that. That just seems like so much punish for you for no reason. It's 130 like Machamp is 120 with only 3 energy, and there's no extra like punish from there. And Machamp has a better HP. What the heck? I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this one. I like the ability though. I hope, another hot take, I hope we get a significant ramp option for every type that has no ramp option. So something like for darkness, we already got metal and I guess colorless. So I think just darkness and colorless are the only ones that I hope we get ramp, but I guess Dialga is for colorless. Anyway, darkness. I hope we get ramp for darkness. Moving on, Scizor, more Gen 2, debris conversion. Whenever energy is discarded from a Pokemon, draw a card. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, 2 metal energies, unrivaled precision, 60 plus. Discard a metal energy from this Pokemon until there are 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 40 more damage for each energy discarded this way. I'm not mad at that. That's pretty neat. 2 retreat costs though. Isn't this thing supposed to be, actually, it is kind of heavy, right? It's not super fast. Well, I guess that makes sense. Dude, I'm forgetting about these newer Pokemon. Oh my god, dude, because they gave us a Gen 1, like my mind cannot comprehend Koraidon EX, a dragon type. Critical Awakening. If this Pokemon has at least 100 HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, this Pokemon is not knocked out and the remaining HP is... So essentially it's like Focus Sash, but built in as an ability. I'm not mad at that. I am really not mad at that. That seems like a really cool and unique type of ability, especially if it's not a Pokemon tool, right? Then this could be a really neat way to introduce some sort of Focus Sash gimmick or mechanic into the game. And I'm all for it. I think that'd be pretty cool. Also, Fire Fighting seems like super respectable typings for this. Prehistoric Impulse, 100 plus. If you didn't play any item cards from your hand during this turn, this attack does 30 more damage. That's pretty good. Again, I like not doing something or doing some sort of action that gets another effect off of a Pokemon if you did set action. I think that could be a really neat mechanic for Pokemon Pocket. Golisopod. Why was I was gonna say Golisopede. It's Golisopod. Oh my god, this thing. You can't tell me Golisopod isn't one of the coolest looking bug type Pokemon in any generation. The design off this, the character design, the Pokemon monster design, whatever you want to call it, is astounding. Once during your turn, for Depth Charge, the ability, if this Pokemon is in the active zone, you may draw a card. If it's a Pokemon, heal 20 damage from this Pokemon. So not only do you draw, but you can heal. That's busted. I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's not too bad. Come on, Zen, it's not crazy, yada, yada, yada. But to draw and to potentially heal your Pokemon is a little too strong. All in the same turn for just an ability that costs you nothing. It's not even an attack. It's not an effect. It's not an item, nothing. It's for free. That's a little too much. Look at Porygon, for example. You could only look at your card. You can't draw it, right? Fragment Rain, 40 plus. This attack does 10 more damage for each card in your hand. All right, I like that. I like that a lot, dude, especially for those. This would effectively make, so if we had a top tier meta Pokemon that had an ability and an effect like this, where it did more damage based on the cards in their hand, it'd obviously run Chatot, right? But then also red card usage would go up immensely, I'd imagine. That's pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Moving Kofagrigus. Oh my goodness. EX Jump Scare. Whenever your opponent's active Pokemon retreats, take a psychic energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. I like it. I like it, dude. These are really good effects. I really wonder if these are already existing effects in the official Pokemon TCG, or if these are just like creative original effects. These are amazing. Again, I love looking at these type of concepts, man. It's just as exciting as seeing official cards. I don't know, it could be a me thing. I'm having a ton of fun. The move is Sinister Monument for 2 psychic energy and a colorless, 90 damage. During your opponent's next turn, the first and second coins they flip will always be tails. Oh my god, someone doesn't like coin flips. That's all I'm gonna say. Someone doesn't like coin flips, man. That's pretty cool though. I'm not mad at this. This is a cool card. I like the concept of this tremendously. Barrascuda. Okay. 100 HP, saltwater carapace, I think. I don't know. Once during your turn, when a water energy is moved from one of your Pokemon to another, so Vaporeon, okay. Heal 30 damage from oh no, that would be so cracked. Torpedo Maw, 40 plus. Flip a coin if heads, or if this Pokemon has full HP, this attack, or this, oh my god, dude. It's too much. It's too much punish. Like, it's too much. So even if you get tails and you have max HP, especially if you use that saltwater carapace, that's too cracked. That's so strong. I like it. I mean, it is 40 though, 40 plus for 2 energy, so it's respectable. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments which of these cards so far are like, yo, you'd love to see like this Gudra EX, and which ones are a little too much. Psychic Water for Gudra EX. I guess that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But the ability is Slippery Membrane. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, switch this Pokemon with a random Pokemon on your bench. I like that. That's not bad. It's like a free switch, especially, well, I don't know if you have an ability like that, and then you also have a 3-cost retreat cost. I don't know. It's kind of feels weird. Also, using an ability, no, I guess Drud does. Using an ability on your opponent's turn to affect them or affect you. I guess, yeah, never mind. I was going to say you can't use an ability on your opponent's turn. That's literally Drud, right? And then we have Medicinal Mucus. Flip 3 coins for each heads. Heal 10 damage from each of your Pokemon. That would be so good. And then finally, this is the final card. And honestly, might be the coolest art piece out of all the cards. Let me know in the comments. Noivern, 120 dragon types. Respect for all the dragon type covered today's video. This is what we want. Pokemon Pocket devs, Dina, I believe, right? Give us more dragons. Ultrasound. Also make dual decks like actually kind of viable. Ultrasound. Once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your opponent's deck. I don't know what that does for you other than giving information, which is actually pretty valuable. It's Psychic and Dark type for this Dragon type. Intimidating Screech 130 during your opponent's next turn. If your opponent can't play any cards from their hand that were put into their hand that turn. Wait. Oh, they can't. Okay, so anything they draw, they can't play. Oh, that's why Ultrasound is there. Interesting. There's a lot of control in this card. And honestly, take away anything, I think I am most excited to see all these new elements coming into set 2. Specifically more control, more Pokemon tools, more options. We already have ramp. We have a lot of aggro approach. I don't think we have a lot of control and stall. I mean, I guess with Drud, we kind of have stall, but I would definitely like to see more control. I mean, look at Gyarados with the ability to remove an energy on the board. That on top of the massive HP and the stall effect. That saw tremendous play, started winning a ton of tournaments. And that is a type of, control element to it, but it is ramp, it is stall as well. I personally want to see a little bit more control elements in cards. That would be really cool. But there you guys have it. Would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more quality Pokemon Pocket content. There's a Discord server if you want to join in anticipation of trading, battling in set 2. Check that out in the pinned comment or somewhere on the channel. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's almost set 2 time, baby. Later.